I am here to talk about holiday eating strategies. And why? Because the holidays are upon us. We have about 10 days until Thanksgiving. And even if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, it's likely that you celebrate some kind of holiday in the month of December, or you're invited to holiday celebrations, you're invited to potentially work events, cocktail parties, maybe even birthday parties this time of year, New Year's, Hanukkah, Christmas, etc. So what does that mean for your food plan? If you're on a diet and you're trying to reach a weight loss goal this time of year, it can be very stressful to think, how am I going to stick to my diet during the holidays? There's all of these events, there's all of these food situations, and I don't know how to navigate them. And a lot of my clients have anxiety and stress, and we just don't need to have anxiety and stress when we can just approach the holiday season with a plan. So we're going to talk about that tonight. There's lots of different ways to approach your food plan, and your holidays. You can decide, how do you want to show up? What do you want to accomplish? And you get to make all of the decisions. And it's good to start now, to start thinking about what you have coming up, how you want to show up, what you want to do, and start thinking. What is the saying? Fail to plan, plan to fail. And so we don't need to do that when it comes to the holidays. A lot of times the mentality out there is, it's the holidays, we have New Year's coming up, we'll get everything in line, everything will be easy to start over after the new year. I'll be a new person, I'll turn over a new leaf, I'll set New Year's resolutions, and I'll get everything back together and start off, and next year will be my year. And so it's this big last hurrah at the holidays, and it's perfect because there are all these food opportunities. And we don't have to do that. I want you to ask yourself, how many times have you set New Year's resolutions or goals and have actually followed through with them forever? Most of us have not. In fact, statistics say that about 80% of people set a goal, and about 20 to 30% of them actually reach it and make lifelong changes. So that's a very, very small number. And that's sad. It doesn't need to be that way, because we don't need to wait until the magical January 1st to make changes in our life and our lifestyle. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the challenges that we face this time of year. So one of the challenges that we face is that there are hyper tasty foods. So this time of year, cocktail parties, there are past hors d'oeuvres, there are really delicious chef-driven creations that are full of all kinds of ingredients we normally don't see, we normally don't have. Typically, holiday foods are not necessarily health conscious. Therefore, for the eye appeal, for the taste appeal, if you're going to family events, family meals. Typically, if you're eating the traditional American turkey dinner, your turkey might be brined, and then it might be deep fried, stuffed with stuffing full of butter, fresh baked bread, butter, highly palatable pies, cakes, sweets. All of these things, they're not just normal foods. They're typically special and very tasty. Also, massive food quantities show up at holidays and holiday parties. If you're invited to a party, you may see that there's a giant buffet table full of food. Normally, you don't go to a meal and have this giant buffet of food. Or if you're at a party, often there's past hors d'oeuvres and a cocktail hour, and there's so much food, and it's massive quantities. And if you're invited to a party, it's free food. So you also have that challenge of, here it is, it's free, it's in front of me, it's special, massive food quantities. If you're like my family, there's always way too much food on the table. We cook way too much. It's like we're going to serve an army, and then there's 10 of us. So massive food quantities. Also rare foods. Often family events involve foods that are cooked by a family member that makes it just once a year, or perhaps you do baking just once a year, or the holiday party is once a year. Obviously Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, it's once a year. So there are foods that often traditionally are just once a year. So they're rare. So we have this feeling like it's an opportunity we cannot miss. Also, if you're at a party or at a holiday gathering, the food is often in front of you for hours. So normally you would eat until you're full and move on with your day. But in this case, you eat until you're full and then you still look at food. So if you're in a conversation, you just can mindlessly grab more food. If you're saying, okay, I'm done, I'm full, that's easy for you to think that, but the food is right there in front of you. And it's so much harder to stop eating when it's right in front of you. If you're at your family event, oftentimes you arrive, there's appetizers, then there's a meal, then there's leftovers, then there's dessert, and it's all day and all night there's food in front of your face. So that can be a challenge. Along with foods being rare, sometimes there's sentimental foods. So, oh, these are the cookies that I make every year with my mom, or this is the bread that was my grandma's recipe that it means so much to me, or this is the Jello. I don't normally eat this Jello, but grandma put shredded carrots in it, and this has shredded carrots in it, and I need to have it. Those sentimental foods, they show up at holidays. Also, food outside of meal times. I know our family, we tend to get together for the day. We eat at 1. So we're nibbling, then we eat at 1. And then we're sitting around and then a little hungry. We get leftovers. And so we're eating at these odd times, which usually ends up being more food than normal. If you're invited to a party, often it's late at night. You're eating late at night when normally you wouldn't be eating at that time of day. And then if you're drinking alcohol at any of these events, lowered inhibition is a big challenge. All of a sudden, you normally wouldn't eat 2 pieces of pie, but hey, I'm feeling a little fun. I'm feeling a little loosey-goosey. Why not? C'est la vie. The alcohol often impacts our ability to say no to things that we normally would not eat. Also, with food challenges, there are emotional challenges that come through. We have maybe long-seated emotional responses to food situations. If you're with your family, a lot of times you have an emotional response to, seeing your mom or seeing your siblings. And all of a sudden, you are wanting to maybe soothe with food to distract yourself from the stress. Potentially you're, sitting there with your mom and you're having this deep conversation and you find yourself eating to distract yourself from feelings. Or maybe you're dreading seeing somebody at this event that you honestly just have a really hard time with, and then you find yourself eating. I know my sister and I have talked about this before. When we get around family, when we get stressed out, we just find ourselves just eating to manage the stress. And that just happens. It's like something clicks in your brain. The emotional impact of learned behaviors. Sometimes I walk into my mom's house and it's like autopilot. I go to the little candy dish. My mom has this little delicious appetizer dish. I go there. It's this trigger. I walk in the door and it's like automatic. I don't normally eat those things, but it's programmed and it's an emotional response. Also, memories have a big impact on our holiday food. Making cookies with my son. I want to make cookies with my son, or I want to make cookies with my mom. And so I want to eat them. I want to have that experience. Or I remember, hey, my mom always makes the butter in the little butter mold. And I normally wouldn't eat as much butter, but it's so cute. And these emotional connections to memories, to foods. I'm beating a little bit of a dead horse, but I'm sure you can think of some of these emotional connections to food. Now, we also have these internal challenges. Sometimes we think it's really hard to say no, especially when you show up and someone has labored over a meal, or you show up and it's a work event and you're expected to socialize and mingle and eat. Or if someone says, oh, I made your favorite, I made it just for you, I feel like you can't say no. Also, you might feel like you cannot have fun unless you are eating. I know for me, I love food. I love social events with food. I have a really hard time going to a social event sometimes and not imagining being able to eat everything. So I have that fear of, am I going to even be able to have fun if I can't eat? And the answer is sometimes, sometimes not. Sometimes I don't go to certain events because I don't want to have to look at the food and I don't want to have to say no. And so sometimes it's easier just to not necessarily go and put myself in front of that food. So we're going to talk about strategies for that. And then sometimes those internal challenges is, how am I going to do this without blowing my diet? I cannot possibly control myself. I can't have one serving. How am I going to do this? And so we have this stress and this anxiety. So those are some of the challenge. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about your lizard brain. So any of you who've worked with me before, you know that this is a big part of my coaching program. We are human beings with brains that have complex communication systems. And if we don't understand what's going on in our brain, a lot of times we will assign punitive responses to our soul and our heart and say things like, I'm weak, or I can't do this, or I'm such a failure, when really we don't understand what's going on in our brain. So Just a little brief tutorial on your brain. Your brain has a little brain stem back here. It's in the back of your head, and it was the first part of you when you were first just a little embryo that started pinging and started fighting for you to have life. It's your primal instinct. It's your lizard brain. It has 3 different messages. Eat that, kill that, or mate with that. It's designed to only keep you alive. That's it. That's all it's there for. And so if you're cold, if you're hungry, if you're stressed, it wants you to be okay. It's your comfort zone. It's there to keep you alive. And so that's in the back of your head, and that is not necessarily your friend. It doesn't have anything to do with who you are. It was there before your personality showed up. It was there before the part of you that wants to show up at a holiday and not eat everything in sight. That part of you, the part of you that wants to reach your goals and feel good, that part of you wasn't there yet. It's just a ping. Stay alive, stay safe, stay fed. Let's keep this human being alive. So then when your personality arrived, now you have a little bit of a war going on. It happens in all arenas of your life. You wake up in the morning, you're tired. I'd really like to stay in the bed. Lizard brain. Front part of your brain, you. I really want to go to work. I want to show up. I want to have respect. I want people to know that I'm reliable. I want to earn my paycheck. So I'm going to get up anyway, even though it's safe in bed, it's warm in bed, and I don't want to. I'm going to get up anyway. You get in your car to drive. You're in a hurry. The stoplight turns red. I don't want to stop. I'm in a hurry. Lizard brain is like, you shouldn't have to do anything that you don't want to do. You're going to be late. You must go. This part of your brain says, no, I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to stop. Because I don't want to die. I don't want to get hit. So when it comes to our food, we see food, highly palatable, sentimental, emotionally charged food. Our lizard brain says, oh, you should eat that. It's food. And you don't want to feel uncomfortable saying no to something. You should eat that. And in between your lizard brain and the real you, there's this little part of your brain that makes decisions. And if you can pause 1 second and let you take over, you can say, I actually want to have a different experience. That lizard brain always lies to you because it only wants you to eat, be safe, or mate with things. So we're going to talk a little bit about the things the lizard brain says to you to lie to you. And then we're going to come up with truth bombs, as I call them, that defeat the lies of the lizard brain. Because when you arm yourself with truth, you can't run away from that when you hear a lie. You may still choose to do the thing, but you can't deny that you actually know the truth. So I'm going to go over some common things your lizard brain may say to you at the holidays. So, number 1, I need to eat as much of this as humanly possible because I will not get it again for a whole another year. Well, that may be true. The lizard brain always lies to you, though. There's always some lie in there. First of all, you don't have to eat as much of it as you possibly can in order to enjoy it. In fact, research has proven that when you eat a food, the first bite is the most tasty. It has the most impact on your brain, your senses, on your palate. The second bite is almost the same impact, but bite 3 and beyond have a very benign impact on your senses. That means your first 2 bites are the most pleasurable, and bites 3 and on become less and less interesting to your palate, to your brain. So you don't have to eat as much as possible in order to enjoy it. Ideally, 3 bites is the ultimate enjoyment, and then anything after that is just, I want to keep eating this, which you are always allowed to do. But the lie that you have to just stuff it in to get it in, completely ridiculous, actually. Also, is it truly never available to you till next year? If you really wanted pecan pie that your mom made, say in June, could you call her up and say, could you make a pecan pie? I'd really love to have one. Or like for me, my favorite thing is stuffing. I think to myself, I only have stuffing at the holidays. Well, actually, if I really want stuffing, they sell stuffing. I could make stuffing. It's not the only time that I can have it. And so by just reminding myself, okay, I can have 3 bites of this. I can really enjoy it. Maybe I'll have a couple more bites of it. But if I really, really, really want more, I can have it any time of year. So that's one. Another lie that we hear is, I'm going to hopelessly offend my mom or my grandma or whomever if I don't eat the food that they made. Well, they may be offended, but there are ways around that. You do not have to put anything in your body that you do not want to. The end, no matter who made it. There are ways to manage these situations if you choose to. First of all, you could take 3 bites and say, oh my goodness, this is so amazing. I think I'm going to take the rest home. Or, you know, I really, really want to enjoy this. Could I take it to go? Oftentimes, to say, I want to enjoy this later, can I take a piece with me? You can either eat it later, give it away, I don't know, but you do not have to sit there and eat it and have them watch you. You don't have to. Or you could just do 3 bites. Also, if they're offended, they'll probably get over it. If you had some kind of debilitating disease that said you could not eat sugar or you died, and they made you a pecan pie and you said, I'm sorry, I cannot eat this or I will die, I'm pretty sure they would understand that you chose not to. So if your goals are really, really important to you, you can choose. Now, I'm not saying you can't have things that people make for you, but if you really do not want that as part of your experience, you can say no. There are ways to strategize around that. Also, if you eat that, they don't have to work it off your body, you do. You have to burn it off your body. What you put in your body is up to you. Your body has to use it. So your body, your business. Remember that. Another lie, everyone else is having fun. It's not fair that I have to sit here and restrict myself. Well, number 1, when you reach your goals, that's fair. Number 2, it's not restriction. It's a choice. You can sit down and do whatever you want. You really can. And if you choose not to, you are not being told you cannot. You, this part of your brain, has decided you want a certain experience and you're choosing to take it. When you decide to drive on the right side of the road and someone's driving on the other way, going the wrong way, and they're going to crash and burn, do you think it's not fair, they get to do whatever they want? No, you think I made a choice to stay safe. They can choose whatever they want. It's really that simple. Also, you have no idea what other people feel. You have no idea how they feel when they go home and put their head on the pillow. You have no idea. You have no idea what they face. You have no idea what they're thinking in the moment. You only have control over you. Another lie, this is protein. It's healthy. I can eat as much of it as I want. That may be true that it's a healthy food, but honey baked ham, that's protein. That's also sugar and fat. That's not necessarily healthy, but also any food in mass quantities is not good for you. You could eat 3 pounds of carrots. That's not good for you. So that lie that, oh, it's healthy, I can eat as much of it. It's a potato. It comes from the ground. Yes, it does. Do you need an entire plateful covered in sour cream and butter? Maybe not. So that's a very common lie. That one gets me a lot in my daily life. Like, oh, almonds are healthy. I can eat them by the handful over and over. Almonds are healthy. Almonds are not healthy en masse. No food is healthy in mass quantities. Another lie, I cannot enjoy this event without eating, and I cannot stick to my rules and have fun. I have to live. I have to live. I hear that a lot. I have to live a little. Life is meant to be lived. Yes, it is. That's why you do get to choose. But remember, the events that you're attending are not about the food. They are about the experience or the event. So if you're at a family gathering, it's about family togetherness. And if you cannot have any fun without having a balls to the walls eating extravaganza, it's important to zoom out and say, why are you going? Why is this event happening? That's not to say that you can't have food. I keep repeating myself. I'm not saying you shouldn't eat and enjoy these things, but to zoom out and get some perspective. Your holiday gathering is about the holiday gathering. And yes, there are traditional foods that's part of the experience, and food is meant to bond us. But you are there to connect with people. If it's a work event or a party with friends, you are there to connect with people first and foremost. So you should be able to indeed have a good time without going crazy with the food, because the food is not the number one focus. You can get full and enjoy delicious food and stick to your plan. You can. It is possible. People do it all the time. Think about how many big events full of free food extravaganzas that your favorite movie star, actor, actress that is in amazing, perfect shape that they go to. They have free food in abundance everywhere. They have snap their fingers and anything is delivered to them. Look at someone and say, I want 4 burgers and 10 bags of French fries. They're there in 2 seconds. So there are people who have the choice to eat as much as they want, anywhere they want, all the time, and they live big, full, rich lives and not do that. So it's possible. And it happens all the time. It's possible for you. Maybe you've never done it before, but you can start. Also, you're going to enjoy yourself a lot more if you're not overfull and bloated from eating too much. And then, like I talked about before, the number one thing, I'm just going to forget about it and not stress about it. I'll start over after the new year. It's the holidays. I just want to have fun and live a little bit. Well, the holidays, traditional American holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve and Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's. That's 5 days. So if you blow it out for 5 days, that's one thing. But so many of us blow it out from Thanksgiving all the way till January 2nd because it's the holidays. And there's no need for that. That random Tuesday in the middle of December is not the holidays. And so it's this time for that lizard brain. We let the lizard brain run the show because it's fun and it's easy. And then we get to the new year and we go, oof, I feel terrible. None of my clothes fit. I got to get on this diet. And then we're starting completely where we don't want to be. Completely where we don't want to be. How many times have you started the new year feeling that way? I know I have so many times. It doesn't have to be that way. You can enjoy the holidays and not go up a pant size and start the new year off behind. You're going to enjoy going to holiday events. You're going to enjoy your New Year's much better when you fit into your clothes. So you get to decide on a goal. So think about the holiday season. You can chase the goal of losing weight, maintaining your weight. I call that holding your position. Or you can say, you know what? I'm okay with gaining a pound or two. But if you're only going to gain a pound or two, that takes a plan too. Because going completely nuts, that's going to guarantee you're going to gain a lot more than a pound. The typical American person going around and eating whatever they want for 5 to 6 weeks. So even if you're okay with gaining a pound or two, you still have to have a plan so it's only a pound or two. So regardless your decision, you need to have a plan. And that's easy to do and it makes you enjoy your holidays and go in with a plan, follow the plan, get to the end of the year and know, okay, I showed up for myself. Even if I said I can gain a couple of pounds, I know it's a couple of pounds. So I enjoyed the food I ate. What happens when we binge is we go on this free-for-all and we try to get it all in. We don't even taste it, appreciate it, understand that we're having something delicious, and then we're covered in shame because we go, man, what did I do? We don't even remember it. But when you make a plan and you eat according to a plan, you enjoy it before, you enjoy it during, and you enjoy the memory of it. And that is the key to always having a plan. Even if your plan is to indulge, you plan it. You stay in control. Lizard brain doesn't call the shots. So you decide on a goal, then you design a strategy. So you can create a plan and stick to it no matter what. And you can also create behavior rules. We're going to talk about behavior rules and strategies. And then no matter what, you're going to stay calm and do some math because in the end, this is just food. It represents calories, which is fuel. You put it in your body burns it. So no matter what you end up doing, there's a way to address it. So no matter what, stay calm and approach it very scientifically, and you're going to enjoy it. You're going to have a better opportunity to make a plan, and you're not going to panic and then continue to binge. So strategies. First of all, you need to plan ahead. So you have a lot of options before an event. So let's just use a scenario of Thanksgiving dinner with your family. So you can make this whatever you want in your real life, but I'm going to use the example of Thanksgiving dinner with your family. So you have some choices. For me, my family gets together, usually eats around 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock, that's a long time. I normally eat before then. So what I can do is I can choose to eat before the event. I could have a very low calorie breakfast with some protein so I'm not hungry. I don't want to show up hungry and go, oh my gosh, here we go. So that's a strategy. Your strategy may be opposite to say, I'm going to save all of my calories, all of my food for the meal. That's also an option. Decide. Also, you can choose an eating window. So when I go to my family, we eat at 1, I might get there at 11. There's food sitting out, then we eat at 1, we get done, then there's leftovers, then there's pie. There's all of this food. So an opportunity for me for a plan, I could say I have an eating window. I'm going to eat from the time I sit down at the table until we're done with that meal, and then I'm going to eat for 20 minutes later. So I can have a 20-minute window where I eat some leftovers and some pie, and I'm done. So while that's not counting calories and that's not a food-specific rule, that's a way for me to have 2 eating windows. So there's only so much food that I'm going to be eating versus walking in, grazing, sitting down, eating, leftovers, and pie. And then I've left and I've been like, I have been eating all day, which I have done, and it feels terrible. So an eating window is often a great strategy. Same thing if you're going to a party and you show up and there's cocktail hour, there's past hors d'oeuvres, then there's a seated meal or there's a buffet. You might think, okay, that's so much food. You could choose to say, I'm only going to eat from this time to this time. That's an opportunity for you as well. You can also, if it's your family event, you could bring a healthy dish. So bring something that you know that you can eat or snack on, especially if you have emotional issues at your family events where you want to just eat out of nervousness. Bring a veggie tray. Bring something that you know that you can nibble on, that if that's what your behavior is going to be, set yourself up for something that isn't going to completely make you feel gross, completely fill your belly with something you wish you hadn't eaten. Bring a veggie tray, bring a fruit tray, bring something that you know that you can eat. Also, before you go, you could exercise. You can pre-burn some of those calories, do a really intense exercise, go for a run, maybe do a workout video, go to the gym, or if nothing else, go for a walk. Just get your body moving, do a little bit of pre-work to absorb those calories. Also, you can create accountability. If you're going with someone to a party or if you're going to a family event, you could tell them what your food plan is. Say, hey, I'm going to this party. I'm not having a cocktail, or I'm only going to the buffet once. Get some accountability on board. It really, really helps, especially if they're watching you. Now, behavior rules are often very popular as well. So you could say at this party or at this event, I'm only going to eat sitting down. So if you're mingling and standing and they're passing hors d'oeuvres, well, I'm not going to eat those, or I'm going to collect them on a little plate. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to eat them. Or maybe that just means I'm not eating anything because I'm standing up. That means that when I'm sitting down, I'm eating. That's it. Same thing at a family gathering. I'm not going to eat while I'm walking past the counter and grab some cheese and some meat. If I want it, I'm going to make a plate. I'm going to sit down. So that's a behavior rule that can really, really wrap your arms around some of those grazing activities that we tend to do. You can also, as I said before, eat during a set time. So make that little eating window. So for my family, I might say, okay, I'm going to eat from 1 to 1:30 and from 5 to 6, something like that. Or if you're at a party, to say, I'm only going to eat during this period of time. It really helps just, again, put some parameters around the eating opportunity, especially if you're around food for hours and hours. Now, one of my favorite strategies is that I only eat the rare foods. So if you're at a party and there's a buffet or there's past hors d'oeuvres and there's a lot of foods that you can normally have, maybe there's a cheese tray, maybe there's chilled shrimp, maybe there's just a salad. Maybe there are things that you could eat anytime, but there's also beef Wellington, or there's some caviar, or there's prime rib. Maybe there's something that you love that you very rarely get. Do not waste any calories on any of that stuff you can get any other time. Save the eating opportunity for the things you never get. At my family dinner, when we have Thanksgiving dinner, I eat stuffing and gravy. I can eat turkey any day. I can eat corn any day. Bread is accessible everywhere. All that stuff is accessible. I want the stuffing and the gravy because I'm not going to make it. And that's my favorite. So I save my calories mostly for stuffing and gravy. So when I'm eating things that I truly normally don't get to have. Now, I also don't eat all of it because if I really wanted it, I could go and have it another time. But I'm not going to waste any of my time on things I can have on a random Tuesday in June. So another strategy, you could also use the bite number strategy we talked about to say, I can have anything I want, 3 bites. So that means you could have 10 different foods and have 3 bites of each. And now you've had variety, now you've enjoyed yourself, but you've had the most palatable, the most tasty bites available of any of the foods that you wanted. That's a really, really great strategy. Or conversely, you could say, I'm only going to eat 4 different things or 5 different things. Set a number of items that you're going to eat at the event. Those are some strategies for behavior. Now remember, you get to choose, and you can also choose to indulge. You can say, I'm going to eat all of the hyperpalatable foods, and that's what I'm going to do. You can make that choice. You can also choose to implement rules. The bottom line is that planning is your choice. And no matter what you choose to do, it should have a plan. So if your plan is to indulge, you need to say, what does that mean? What does that look like? So that you're not just walking in and it's a feeding frenzy. You want to avoid going in without a plan. If your plan is, I'm going to eat whatever I want, okay, what does that look like? Does that mean everything and anything that you want all day long, as much as you possibly can have? I don't recommend that for anyone. You can choose that, but understand that you're also choosing how you feel that day and how you feel the next day. And if you want a different experience, you can do that. You can say, I'm going to indulge, but I'm going to put some parameters on it. So for example, if you're a person who normally eats about 1,600 calories a day on a diet plan, I'm just picking that number out of a hat, and you say, you know what, I'm okay gaining a pound on Thanksgiving. Well, guess what? A pound is 3,500 calories. That means that you can eat 5,000 calories and maybe gain around a pound. So if you're okay with gaining a pound, awesome. You get to eat 5,000 calories in that day. But that means you also still need to track your food so you know how much 5,000 calories is. If you're okay with gaining a pound, okay, but then you need to make sure that you're still in that zone, because that could easily turn into 7,000 calories pretty easily if you're just eating willy-nilly. Also, having that plan and logging it means that you are still being selective and you're still enjoying the food and you're still thinking about it. You're not just like, give me all of this until I can't get any more. Now give me all of this until I can't get any more. So 5,000 calories would mean about a pound of weight gain for the average person. Now, on a moderate calorie deficit, that's going to take you about 2 weeks to lose. So also know that if you choose to indulge, it's going to take time to reverse that. That's just by a moderate calorie deficit. Now, you can obviously add exercise and burn that off quicker too. But if you think about it, you want to gain a pound, in 2 weeks, it can be gone. So that's your choice. Or not. You can say, I don't want to do that. I want to hold my position. Well, in that case, if you're eating about 1,600 calories to lose weight, you'd say, well, maybe I'll eat 2,200 calories. That's probably close to my maintenance. That's still a lot of food I get to eat, and I can hold my position. It's up to you. Now, if you do decide to indulge, I really, really recommend that you stay calm and do not weigh yourself the next day, because when you eat hyperpalatable, often salty, sweet foods, or if you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, which a lot of these parties and events have a lot of carbohydrates, your body needs to retain water to process carbohydrates. 1 gallon of water is over 8 pounds. So if you've eaten a lot of food, your body's going to hold a lot of water, and you can often hold 5 to 6 pounds of water easily overnight. So if you weigh the next day, you may think, oh my gosh, I've gained 7 pounds. So it's, it's the day after Thanksgiving. I may as well just eat whatever I want until Monday because I've already done all of this damage. No, you have not. You have not. You did not eat 35,000 extra calories. I guarantee you. I mean, I don't even know if that's possible. I don't even know if like the hot dog eating champion eats 35,000 calories that day. But anyway, so when you eat carbs, your body holds more water to process those carbs. So for every gram of carbohydrate, your body holds 3 grams of water in order just to process it. So if you eat bread and mashed potatoes, often that's about 3 pounds of water just automatically your body needs to hold. So you might think, I ate carbs, I gained weight. Well, no, you ate carbs and your body held some water to process them. Give it a day or two, it's gone. So stay calm and don't let it turn into a 3-day feeding frenzy. And remember, there's no wrong or right. No one is going to shove food down your throat. If you say no, I don't know anybody who's going to go to a party or a family event where they're going to shove food down your throat. So you always get to choose. You always get to choose. And you can enjoy special meals and events and have limits. In fact, you'll enjoy it more because you'll get to enjoy what you're doing. And later you can enjoy the memory of it and feel really good afterwards. And if you do decide to enjoy and indulge, you can gain a pound or two and lose it. It's just energy in the tank and you're going to burn it off. And just accept that that will take some time. You can make that decision. The decision that we want to avoid is to have no plan. You always want to go in with a plan. And remember, holidays, the holiday party, the holiday gathering is one meal or one event. We don't have to extend the party. Thanksgiving can be Thursday. It doesn't need to be Friday, shopping, day after Thanksgiving shopping, online shopping, eat whatever we want. Oh, it's Saturday, hang out, eat more food. Sunday, may as well start Monday. Oh, it's the holidays, I may as well start in January. This is what happens. Same thing in December, a holiday party on Friday night. I may as well eat whatever I want all weekend. It's the holidays. We want to avoid that. We want to decide ahead of time when we're going to eat, what events we're going to eat at, and what our limits are going to be. That is everything that I have to talk to you about holiday eating. But if you enjoyed this and this kind of logic makes sense to you, I want to invite you to explore the Kristen Experience. The Kristen Experience is my personal brand of transformation coaching. So I have a website, Kristen Smith Online, where it talks about my products, my programs. So I have two options for you. I have Kristen Experience, which is a membership site. It's a place where you're going to get a personalized nutrition plan, workouts, and you're going to get mindset training on topics just like this, loaded in to the website, which is also available to you on an app, so you have me in your pocket. There is soul food. There is webinars to connect with yourself. All of that is available to you on the Kristen Experience. It's very affordable. It's $99 a month for you to go ahead and start chasing your weight loss goals and get all of my coaching along with it. Now, if you want something more robust, I have group coaching programs, and this is very, very exciting. The current group of people that I have right now are losing on average 3/4 of a pound to 1 pound per week. We're meeting every week and we're discussing things like holiday eating, our lizard brain, emotional eating, binge eating, setting food rules, the mindset that we need in order to implement a new healthy lifestyle forever. If you're sick and tired of starting a diet, ending a diet, gaining the weight back, starting over, this is the program for you, because I teach you how to eat forever. I teach you how to count your macros. A lot of you have never done macronutrient eating before. It's daunting. It seems like a lot of stuff to keep track of, but it's not. I can teach you how to do it. I'll give you a plan for your calories, for your macros. I'll teach you what to eat. You'll learn the best types of food to eat and come up with plans for holidays, events, vacations, so that it's a lifestyle. So you lose weight, it stays off, because now you know how to live a healthy lifestyle. That is what we do in my group programs. The next one starts January 3rd. I'm going to have a limited number of spaces. So if you're interested in working with me and getting in on that group, you need to act fast, because I'm selling those spots and there's a limited number. I can only coach so many people at one time. But if you want to learn more, I would love to talk to you. You can also talk to some of the participants that are in the group right now. They would love to share their experience with you, and it's affordable. You can pay monthly. You're going to experience change in your mindset and in your thought process like you've never had around food, your body, your self-worth, and your why. That's the Kristen Experience, and I'm so excited to have you as a part of my group. So if you'd like to learn more, send me a DM, send me a comment. Visit me at kristensmithonline.com. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to just tell you more. If you want to just talk about your goals, I will do a free phone call with you. I'll talk about your goals, let you know what I can do to help you. But at the very least, the Kristen Experience is a no-brainer. It's $99 a month. I'm going to make you a customized nutrition plan. I'm going to say, you want to chase your goals? You're going to tell me your goals. And I'm going to say, here's how you do it. And I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to be in your pocket the whole time. So you tell me a weight loss program that does all of that. I'll wait. I'm going to do that for you. I'm going to teach you how to lose weight, keep it off, how to eat, how to move, and how to change your mindset forever. So that's the Kristen Experience. I'd love to have you. Thank you for joining this Facebook Live talking about holidays. If you have questions about a specific holiday event you're going to and you want to strategize with me, I would love to help you with that as well. So drop a comment. Let me know your questions, your thoughts, and I'll see you on Kristen Smith Online right here on Facebook as well. Also follow me on Instagram, The Kristen Experience. Thanks so much. Have a great night.